Story already have a robot built for very different exploration purposes.
It may not have been based on anything that lives upside down in the oceans, but it is designed for some hugely challenging extremes, and we found it in Atlanta, Georgia.
Scientists travel to the very ends of the Earth for their research, risking their lives and their equipment in the process. Polar scientists are among the most extreme. They trek across some of the most dangerous terrain on Earth. Just getting to the Arctic is a battle of logistics, and weather can shut down research before it's even begun. Now, an engineer wants to send an army to help the scientists. An army of robots.
You can almost think of them as collateral damage. If they get destroyed, it's okay because that's not human life. And yet you still get the data that you need.
Ayanna Howard is developing autonomous robots called snowmotes to act like mobile weather stations, measuring things like humidity, temperature, and wind speed. Scientists can use that data to make better predictions, like how fast the polar ice is melting.
They can actually get data at when they want and anytime they want so that they can increase their model. Because the better you have of a model, the better your understanding of what's going on with the ice melting.
Of course, these engineers want their robots to survive too. And building robots that can survive Arctic conditions is no easy task, especially when you're Atlanta. It's a long way from the North Pole and a whole lot warmer. After the team brainstormed on how explorers travel, they came up with this robot with legs and flat feet to act like snowshoes.
So the problem that we were experiencing originally was the flimsiness of the legs. As you can see, as I wiggle it around, it's a little flimsy now. As well as the shoes were not doing the job, so to speak. It wasn't actually grabbing the sand as we wanted it to grab the snow, as we wanted it to grab the snow.
The next prototype was a snowmobile-style robot.
So this is the second version of the Snowmote. It is based on an RC snowmobile chassis. We hoped that the skis and what used to be a track in the back would provide much more traction in the snow.
After some virtual testing,
We're definitely driving up at the moment.
Let's see.
they were ready to test their robot in the real world at Mendenhall Glacier in Alaska. The field trials were dangerous as the engineers trekked across ice and around crevasses.
A crevasse is basically a shift in the ice so that, if you put a foot down, you put your body down, it's bye-bye scientists. And so we were actually out there with our sticks because one of the things about the crevasses is that the snow actually covers them. And so the area might look perfectly safe, but there's actually these channels of very dangerous terrain.
And their reward for a year of hard work? The second prototype rolled too much. Back to the drawing board. 12 months later, they had 3 new and improved snowmotes. They headed back to Alaska.
Wild success. Not only did we have 3 different trips on 3 different parts of the glacier, but we actually had enough information to build a small science map of the data that we collected.
And here's the winning design.
In the back, right here, we have the modified tread system. What this allows it to do is have enough power to, 1, not tip over, and also go over some of the snowdrifts that we found on the glacier. Up front, we have the camera system, and the camera is the eyes of the rover. It allows the vehicle to determine the terrain, look for bad areas and good areas, and navigate accordingly. What we have on the back is the GPS unit. This allows us to transmit the science data as well as the actual location that we're grabbing the data from. Inside is the brains of the robot. We try to protect the electronics as much as possible. We are in the Arctic. We are in these snow and ice environments, and so as the snowmote is navigating, a lot of water is produced from the snow.
There are more improvements in the works.
Because the battery was such an issue being so heavy.
Because it was draining it. One of the things that these science rovers have to have is long life. We need to figure out the power issues. We'd like them to be able to stay by themselves for an extended period of time. And the little batteries that we have won't do it. So we have to look at the battery issues. We also like to build a bigger model, mainly because the science instruments, the high precision science instruments that we need, have a larger package. They're heavier.
Ayanna dreams that someday there will be legions of snowmotes out there. And that means more tinkering with toys.
I get to play with toys. I get to buy toys and test them out and then pretend like I'm doing research. It's an amazing feeling to be able to do what you love and then it actually have an impact in the world.
Up next.